Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions, our movie review show brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with Carrie.
Hello.
All right, guys, we're back to review Kingsman, The Golden Circle.
You ready? Absolutely. Come on.
Let's get started.
Welcome back. I was going to say, who will? That'll make you want to slap your mama right there, boy.
What do these do?
Hand grenades.
It's very American.
Yeah, it is.
This is the 2017 comedy action spy
Yep.
sequel
All of
of
those
sorts.
things.
Yeah. Okay. So, Carrie, I did not see this movie. You did. You saw the first one, I assume?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I did the review for the first one too.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
What did you think of The Golden Circle?
Just as entertaining as the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would qualify it as objectively as good of a story as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as sequels go, it's pretty much perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does it? Okay, so a couple things that I've heard is this one sort of ramps up the action a little bit more. They kind of, like, all the things you liked about the first one, they kind of went back and did those things.
Yeah, I don't, like, there's not a scene in this one that I would say is quite as iconic as Colin Firth murdering a church full of people on his own. To Freebird.
Could anything be really?
No, but no, there's a ton of action. I mean, the movie sets the tone for itself right off the bat with a fight scene that takes place in a car while the car is in the middle of a chase while Let's Go Crazy by Prince is playing.
Okay, that's not bad.
So yeah, that's pretty good. And that does set the tone for the absurdity of the rest of the movie.
Okay, so I'm here for the absurdity of these movies. I love the first one. I thought it was a blast. Quickly go over what the general plot of the film is.
Okay, so the title has the Golden Circle. So the Golden Circle in the plot of the movie is this massive drug cartel run by a crazy woman by the name of Poppy, and Poppy is played by Julianne Moore, who is brilliant.
Yeah, I
in
heard
this
she's
movie.
very good.
She's so good. I mean, I love her in just about anything, but she's so good in this movie particularly. So she's fed up with the fact that she can't be a legitimate businesswoman selling drugs. So she taints all of her drugs, marijuana, heroin, cocaine, meth, everything that she's selling.
Okay.
And she taints it with this virus that slowly poisons, paralyzes, and then kills the people who use the drugs.
Okay.
But she's come up with an antidote. So what she does is she's holding a couple 100 million people hostage.
Yeah.
And she emails or she messages the president of the United States saying, I have the antidote.
She emails.
Or she broadcasts, really, this absolutely ridiculous infomercial about what's happening.
Oh, that's funny.
And she says, I will distribute the antidote if you legalize all drugs. And that's her terms. And the president is a dick, and he's kind of like, you know what? No. I would rather let all these junkies die.
Interesting.
So, in the meantime, Poppy has taken out the Kingsmen, largely. She has figured out where the Kingsmen are because she knows that they are a threat. And so everybody except Eggsy and Merlin is fucking dead within the first 10 minutes of the movie. So they have to execute their doomsday protocol, which leads them to Kentucky, where the Statesmen are. And so the Statesmen's cover, kind of like how the Kingsmen have the tailor shop as their sort of like legitimate business.
Right.
The Statesmen have a whiskey distillery.
That's very American. I like that idea.
And so they kind of have to team up in order to take down the Golden Circle and save a fuck ton of people from dying.
Okay. So. That's a fairly simple plot. What would you give this out of 5?
4.5. Yeah, really, really good. Like, not perfect, because I think there were times where the absurdity was just like a little too much.
Yeah.
Where, they have to go to the Glastonbury Music Festival
Okay. I'm not sure what that
to
is.
track down someone who they think might be connected with someone in the Golden Circle, and it's a woman. It's this person's ex-girlfriend that they're trying to track down, because they're like, oh, we think she's probably still in contact with him, and they give him this like condom looking thing to put on his finger, and they're like, oh, if you like press on a mucous membrane for 3 seconds, it'll launch a little tracker that'll like stay in them. And at first Eggsy is like, what, do I have to like put my finger up her nose? And they're like, that's not the only mucous membrane in the female body. And like literally they're like, you have to finger this girl.
You idiot.
To save the world. And
He's
it's just like,
okay.
Okay.
I mean, he was promised anal sex at the end of the first one, so.
He's dating that girl.
In the
this one,
movie? Yeah. All right, well, that's fair.
So, that's a pretty strong subplot in itself, but yeah, it's really interesting, like the way that they explain how Colin Firth's character Harry.
Yeah, we won't spoil it. Though.
We won't spoil it. The way that they explain how he's still alive, because at first I was like, how we saw him get shot in the head,
right?
But the way that they explain how he's still around, it has to do with the Statesman and whatnot, because of course that church was in Kentucky.
Oh, is that right? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
So they basically have the Statesman have swooped in and figured out what had happened, because they had noticed the sonic shit going off from the first movie.
Okay.
So
they're tying it back to the first one.
Yeah.
It's not completely separate stories.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a sequel. Like, I would say you probably have to have seen the first movie to really understand everything that's going on. But at the end of the day, it's just a really absurd, over the top action spy comedy.
Okay.
So.
Just a couple of quick things. So, you have the introduction of Halle Berry, Channing Tatum, and Jeff Bridges, and of course, what's the other dude's name?
Pedro Pascal.
Thank you.
Yes.
From Narcos. How were they as a statesman?
Really good. Jeff Bridges is the same character he's
Rooster Cogburn again.
Yes.
He was like, wait, statesman, like, from Kentucky?
Yeah,
awesome. I got
cool.
the perfect accent. I can do it for the last 5 movies.
Yep, that's still kind of what he's doing. Halle Berry, it's really funny. I was like, he turns around and I'm like, fuck you, Jeff Bridges.
Dude, pick another role.
Right.
Loves that
Channing
accent.
Tatum is not in the movie a lot. Which
Oh, really?
Is
That's
kind
surprising.
of a bit of a hang up for me. Because
Yeah, I bet it is.
One, I love Channing Tatum, but two, like, they really pushed him in
the
all
trailers.
of the marketing materials, and he's not really in it a lot. Pedro Pascal is the
He's-
statesman who you see a
Is he
lot
more the Eggsy character? Not like a young student, but he's like the main guy.
Yeah,
on the
he's
Statesman.
he's the main guy for the Statesman. Halle Berry is sort of their Merlin equivalent.
How was she? Because she's generally terrible.
I thought she was really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's good. Because I saw that movie Kidnap, and she was the opposite of good.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, this is just a really well-written, well-directed, well-shot film.
Yeah.
So the action sequences are just so good. Really
man.
well shot.
I mean, so this was directed by Matthew Vaughn, who obviously did the first one, famous
He did
for
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass
Yeah.
and X-Men First Class, and is actually also rumored to be doing the follow-up to Man of Steel, which is interesting too.
Okay.
And he co-wrote this with Jane Goldman, who wrote X-Men First Class with him. So. And Kick-Ass. So, I mean, this is kind of a good team. They clearly have good rapport in what they come up with in this sort of absurd world of superheroes.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're basically superheroes.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically like not quite the James Bond of yore, but like not, I would say
Not Triple X either.
no, like I would say it falls somewhere between like old school James Bond and
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a spoof, but like an action laden spoof. Where Austin Powers is just like the goofy lines.
Right.
All right. I mean, look, I feel like and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your recommendation is basically like, if you like the first one, you'll like this one.
I mean, if you like action and comedy, I mean, the James Bond films that we've had in the last decade, like the Daniel Craig films,
right,
have generally been a really hard, heavy, serious response to Austin Powers. And it feels like Kingsman is the response to the Daniel Craig movies. Yeah, it feels like, okay, we're not going to take it quite as far as Austin Powers did, but we're still going to take it back into like the fun zone.
Yeah, the Roger Moore movies.
Yeah,
just like cranked to an 11.
Yep,
that's fair. All right, so there you go, 4.5 stars for Kingsman: The Golden Circle. All right, guys, we will see you next time on Coming Distractions. Again, make sure you go check out our other podcast, The Nerdpocalypse, on iTunes, Google Play, that sort of thing. You can also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Nerdpocalypse. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
Thanks.